After the handprints appeared, the rules changed. That was the first thing the so-called experts told us. Whatever had been following us wasn't just playing anymore, it was escalating. Mia and I didn't argue, didn't hesitate, and didn't pretend we could handle this alone. By noon, she had already found people who claimed they dealt with things like this for a living. The kind of men who spoke carefully, never laughed at the wrong moment, and never asked unnecessary questions. We met them in a quiet tea house near the edge of campus, where the lights were dim and the walls were lined with old photographs that made time feel heavier. The leader introduced himself as Old Cat, a thin man with sharp eyes and a voice so calm it made my skin crawl more than fear ever could. His assistant, Ray, barely spoke, but he kept glancing at my hands as if expecting something to crawl out from under my skin. Old Cat listened while we explained everything, from the last train to the ball, the handprints, and Old Z's disappearance. When I finished, he didn't look surprised. He nodded once and said that what we were dealing with was not a single spirit, but a layered haunting. The ball girl was only one part of it, a lure tied to the train, but the handprints meant something else had attached itself to us after we crossed back into the living world. He said the underground doesn't like it when rules are broken halfway. And when someone escapes without properly severing the connection, other things take notice. Mia asked if that meant we were cursed, and Old Cat replied that curses were simple. This was worse. This was a contract we didn't understand. He told us that if we wanted answers, we had to go somewhere the boundary was thin, somewhere the dead didn't need permission to listen. That place, according to him, was one of the old classroom buildings on campus, the kind that stayed unlocked long after midnight and collected silence like dust. We went there that night, long after most of the campus had gone dark. The streetlights casting weak pools of yellow across empty walkways. The building Old Cat chose looked ordinary from the outside. But the moment we stepped inside, the air dropped several degrees, and every sound echoed as if the walls were hollow. He told us to stay close, no matter what we heard, and to never respond if someone called our names from the hallway. As we climbed the stairs, I noticed the smell first, the same faint metallic scent that had followed the ball on the train, growing stronger with each step. On the third floor, Old Cat stopped and told Ray to prepare the setup. I didn't understand what that meant until he placed a bowl of dark liquid on the floor and lit a single stick of incense that burned without smoke. The hallway lights flickered, once, twice, then steadied, and that was when Mia grabbed my arm so hard it hurt. At the far end of the corridor, something moved. Not fast, not slow, just enough to be seen. A small shape stepped backward into the shadow, dragging something along the floor with a soft scraping sound. Old Cat's expression tightened, and he said quietly that this confirmed it. The ball girl was not alone anymore. Another presence had been drawn in, something older, something that followed blood instead of games. Before I could ask what that meant, the sound of a rubber ball bounced once, echoing sharply down the hallway, followed by another sound that didn't belong, the slow, wet press of a hand against the wall. One by one, red handprints began to appear along the corridor, forming a path that led straight toward us. Ray whispered that there were two rhythms now, two rules overlapping, and that if we stepped wrong, neither would let us leave. Old Cat raised his voice for the first time, ordering us not to move, not to look back, and not to run, no matter what we felt behind us. The temperature dropped so suddenly my breath fogged in front of my face, and from somewhere above us, a child's laughter echoed, soft and patient, like someone enjoying a familiar game. The ball bounced again, closer this time, and I realized with sick clarity that this wasn't an ambush. It was an invitation. Whatever waited in that hallway wasn't trying to scare us away. It wanted us to choose, to step forward, to confirm that we were still playing. Old Cat turned to me and said that once we took another step into this, there would be no pretending anymore, no half measures, and no backing out without paying a price. As the lights flickered again and the shadows at the end of the hallway thickened, I understood that surviving the train had only moved the game to a new board, and tonight, we were about to learn how many players were really involved.